Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this free recap video I'm going to talk about something that's very much a characteristic of my trading, and that's this idea of trading off themes and connected markets. And so we're going to start off with crude oil and the XLE, and there's a number of trades like this we put on today that have a lot to do with if one market is moving, how are other markets moving in sympathy with that? And are there opportunities, and can we cherry pick from the best of them? So early on today, crude was up big time today, and we looked at opportunities to do two things: either short the underlying futures contract or buy puts on the March contract. So February short or the March puts. And the reason we went out to March is my guideline is I need about 30 days before expiration to not have to deal with the theta decay, the options rot, as we like to call it, on the underlying futures contract. But that was only a part of the trade. The other part was the XLE. XLE is a name that obviously moves in sympathy with the crude oil market. This is the Energy Select SPDR, or SPDR. And what is it? It's names like Exxon, it's names like Chevron, ConocoPhillips, Schlumberger, Occidental, EOG, Marathon, Phillips 66. What else am I forgetting? It's 30 some odd holdings, and they're all names many of you know and maybe not love because the way they've been moving. But you know, we go from crude oil to XLE, and the connection then takes us to Exxon, takes us to Chevron. Again, ConocoPhillips. So as much as we could short any one of those individual holdings or buy puts in any one of those individual holdings, as crude oil rallied, I can also just take the larger position, well, to actually take the larger look at all these positions and play the XLE. So I get a little bit of all those names, with mostly Exxon and Chevron, which are about 22 and about 20% respectively, the XLE. So I mean, you've got almost half the weighting of the XLE. Talk about what they call a high concentration problem ETF. You've got a lot of it sitting here in just those two names. So if those two names with the crude oil rally look like shorts, you better believe your XLE looks pretty darn good for a short as well. And then we can make a bet on all the boats of XLE by taking advantage of the ETF rather than picking a winner, right? And once we have a trend, I prefer that broader play. In more chop, I want to be a bit more of a stock picker or an individual market picker. But once we get a trend up or down, I like the broad play. And again, it started from crude oil. Let's take a look at one more example like this. The daily chart of both the NASDAQ and the S&P rallied into what I would consider an initial layer of resistance. And there's two of them, 6,400 and 6,500. I'll talk a lot more about these in the premium video, but I want those of you that are watching the free one to get some benefit of what I'm talking about. This is a bounce, this is a correction, this is a bear market bounce into resistance, and therefore a short. Well, we also know there's a theme, right? Where else are there opportunities? XLY, Amazon, Facebook. So if I am bearish, the broader market, or sort of the touchstone of the theme, crude and energy, or NASDAQ and discretionary, or Amazon and Facebook, right? So once I've got a read on the bigger market, on the bigger theme, it opens up a lot more opportunity, and then you can cherry pick. You can go with the asset class you like best, you can go with the market that you resonate with the most, and you know it's connected from more of that theme outlook, right? All right, speaking of theme outlooks, and I want to give everyone plenty of heads up. A lot of you know that I've been talking a lot about these economic ABCD stages and how I look at underlying central bank messaging, inflation, and growth numbers to play currencies and commodities, and yes, of course, stocks. On the 17th, I think I just got the okay for this. On the 17th, we are doing a free webinar. So mark this on your calendars. I'm giving you a 2-week heads up. Gang, this is just something I do. where once a year, we've done it for the past 5, I do an outlook on the new year. So just mark it down on your calendar. It'll probably be about 7 p.m. Eastern on the 17th. Looking forward to explaining a lot of these theories then to you, because these will be things that we'll be using and referring back to for the rest of 2019. And I think it's going to really open up a lot of possibility for not just your trading, but your portfolio management as well. All right, gang. I'll see you in the next update, my friends.